All right then, ladies and gentlemen, it's Zay and Chris here, and we're going to go ahead and give you guys our review of Rebel Ridge.
Rebel.
This was suggested to us actually by a family member of ours. It's on Netflix, and so we just wanted.
A family member of mine, because me and him are not family.
Yeah, it was on Netflix, and you'll understand what I mean by the end of this.
Something to watch on Netflix. And you know, we always know, like the ones that are on Netflix, and they're like, oh, number 1 in movies, number 3 in movies. We know those are very hit or miss, because it's like they usually are very. This one I won't say is an entire miss, but it's definitely not a hit either.
Quick synopsis of it: a former Marine confronts corruption in a small town. When local law enforcement unjustly seizes a bag of cash, he needs to post his cousin's bail. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Girls, I know.
You know what, huh?
I know the girls like it because he's not bad to look at. He's easy on the
Okay,
eyes.
I mean, we couldn't even get 2 minutes into this without a stab. No one was talking about this. Hey,
I'm gonna say it.
Let me not sound like an insecure man. Excuse me. Hey, at the end of the day.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Obviously, it's pretty long. It is a lengthy movie.
About 2 hours 11 minutes, y'all. But it's up there.
It's long. Was it doable though? Yes. Because I hate over 2 hour movies because I feel like they kind of drag most of the time. But ultimately, this one was fine. You could get through it. But overall, what I will say right off the bat is that it is a very oversaturated, overplayed, overtyped, overwritten story. It's always about a black man going into a racist town and having to fight the injustices to get what he needs to get done.
Yep.
And then ultimately he's strong and powerful, or in sense of like literally combat wise and things like that, to where it's like he can fight them off, but at what cost? And like I said, it's just so, and it's the reason why I say oversaturate all those other things is because it's always about a sheriff. It's always about a corrupt sheriff system or a corrupt police system. And it's like,
we've seen this before.
Like I don't care. I just don't care to see it. Like, okay, yeah, I can look at you, but ultimately it's like, it's the same.
Look at you, yeah. I can look at you, yeah. I'm gonna take over now because I don't know what the fuck you're thirsting over for Aaron Pierre. Anyway, let's just go ahead and get into the beginning of it. Just because, in my opinion, I've said this before with some movies. They had us in the first half. Not even gonna lie to you. Had me really in the first 20 minutes. We give movies 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes wasn't too bad. We thought we were gonna see a police brutality scene in the beginning because he got hit by the cops. It wasn't brutality, but it was just police harassment. You know, it's not like they were kicking him down and beating him up. It wasn't like a Rodney King thing or anything like that. None like that. It was different because Terry Richmond, who Aaron Pierre is playing, he established from the beginning he's very like stoic and calm in these intense moments when the cops are reserved, when the cops are literally seizing his money. He's trying to bail his cousin out. We want to know what his cousin was doing. So there was some curiosity in the beginning, enough to really, like I said, we were hooked in the beginning. We were really hooked in the first half of it, really up until he had made it to the town and he actually got to see how this town operates, when he is like, okay, I need to get my money back though. Like, you took my bail money from me just because I had it in cash, and then you think it's this drug operation. Like I said, it looked very normal. What was he in for? And then of course, you know, when he actually does see his cousin being driven away on the correctional bus, you know, that began to have us go, okay, now we got the emotional. Yeah, we got to get the emotional connection. I didn't even think we were going to see his cousin, to be honest with you. I thought we were never going to see his cousin. We did see his cousin, and I thought that even him riding on his bike, you know, trying to catch up to the bus, and him trying to be like, I'm going to get you out of here. I thought, okay, we're about a good 15, 20 minutes into this movie, around that part, maybe 30. And
no, I think we were like 45.
Maybe 45?
Yeah, because remember he had to make the deal with the sheriff, and he thought he was going to be there, and then he goes, oh, well, it's 8:03 now.
Yes, oh yeah, and there's the sheriff just being a complete a-hole, you know, and then also the other officers. But when he had dapped up his cousin, at that point I'm thinking, okay, this isn't too bad. I was like, we're actually intrigued with it. Things took a turn for me when he kind of ran out of ideas because he was calling the Chinese restaurant Mr. Liu, and he needed his $10,000. The money orders, he needed those in when he couldn't get them in. It was nice to see him kind of resort to, okay, this is my plan, actually. Like, he kind of like got himself arrested so that he can go in and...
You think they're gonna shoot me in the same, like...
Exactly, put me in the same prison as him, so that way or in the same jail, so that way I can try to break him out. That's what I was thinking. The movie did not take that turn. And in my opinion, when he was getting arrested and he had his hands behind his arms, you probably seen it in the trailer. It's probably in like the thing on Netflix that they show you. For me, that was the peak of the movie. Yeah. That was the peak of them. If it stopped there and it was a half point and then it was like a cliffhanger, damn, that's actually not too bad. But everything after that, well, Chris, I'll let you go ahead.
Well, I gotta have my favorite part whenever Miss Summer was talking to Terry.
Hannah Sophia.
She was, because she worked in the court system. Mm-hmm. At the I wouldn't say police station, but over there, in the same city where all this corruption is going on. And she had kind of already knew they're doing something corrupt, all those other things. So she was already kind of inquisitive about it, kind of playing detective already, but she knew she had to be careful with it. Mm-hmm. Y'all, why was she literally talking to Terry outside, right? This man was literally this is a big black man, okay? It's not someone you can hide, especially in a very white racial conservative town. Like you can't hide him, okay? You can't. And he's not a small dude. She's literally talking to him outside. She goes, oh, come on. And then here comes this guy that's literally works in the same office as her. And he goes, hey, are you, like, he literally is trying to get her attention. She goes, oh, hey, I'm just doing, like, catching the smoke. And then he goes, oh, you don't smoke? And she goes, oh, I'm vaping. Y'all, the man can clearly see. Terry, does not even move. He doesn't. He's looking straight at her and he's like, what? Like, he's like, I don't care. Like, I'm trying to get my cousin out. I don't care who sees me and whatnot. She's literally trying to move him. She goes, oh, trying to move him behind, like,
the wall, to
like
get
another building. And the man clearly sees him, clear as day, like, clear as day. He's just standing there talking. And then, like, after that, she's trying to, like, talk to him behind the wall. I said, we could have just cut that out. Like, she did not hide Terry at all. Terry was very apparent and up front, literally right there. He did not move. She literally was like, okay, let's talk behind here. Like, she had to basically tell him to move. That's why I was like, I always thought that part was so funny, because I'm like, that big black man is very out in the open. Like, there's nowhere you can hide him. And she was trying to get him behind the building, and she inevitably does, but it's like the guy clearly already saw him. So it's like, you're saying, oh, I'm smoking or I'm vaping. He clearly already saw you talking to that man. Like, what are we doing? But I thought that was funny. But after the peak, like, okay, his cousin dies. Okay, his cousin got stabbed.
Crazy. Did not see that coming, bro.
I just wish that before his cousin passed away, because we see, like I said, it's ultimately the same. It's literally the same exact story. It's a corrupt police station. They're trying to get more money because they've had too many fuck-ups with their arrests and have been sued. Literally.
And the town's poor.
Yeah, and that's literally the whole story of it. But ultimately, I'm just like, when the cousin had, like, got caught up, because, we saw him on the bus getting shipped away to, like, the jail or whatever. He's like, hey, you gotta lay low. And then, like, they basically killed him right away. And that was all from the sheriffs as well. They had that set up. But it's like, to me, it's like, okay, if the sheriff and stuff had all that set up for him to get stabbed right away so that, that case can go away, he died, yada, yada, like, in the system. It's like, what was all that gripe about Aaron Pierre, like, Terry? What was all that gripe about him laying low beforehand? Because he didn't really know about this town until then.
Exactly.
But he probably, of course he's probably, okay, you're a black guy going in for drug possession. But I ultimately thought it was going to be a story about who are they truly? Who does he know? Why is he going to be sought after out in the jail? Like, what's going on with that? But ultimately, it wasn't even that. That kind of went away because, like I said, they killed him off quick. And then ultimately it's just like, oh, and then, whenever he got arrested and stuff, and like the cop that had the redeeming arc factor, which he didn't, because to me it's like, this all started because of your ass. So, because you're the one who ran him off the road.
It kind of felt like it was, like I said, I would have preferred it to be a prison escape movie, or even if you do kill the cousin, you have a true revenge, because Terry, first of all, Terry doesn't kill anybody in the movie. So he doesn't actually kill anyone. Like, he's not killing the officers. He's kind of like messing them up. He does break one of those arms, which is, you know, and he has like his tactical skills. I thought that was a decent scene, but it becomes. And in the first half, I said, oh, this is kind of self-contained and it's nice. I didn't want it to be that self-contained. It felt like it felt like the movie could not leave the confines of the town. Like, they literally were like, oh, we literally can't film outside of this town. That's it. And I thought it was going to be like a different set. You know, you end up getting introduced to a couple of other officers, like Officer Jessica, who kind of is like, you think she's on his side because you think she's on Terry's side because she's a black officer. You know, who's in here, but actually she's by the law, she's by the books no matter what. Terry ends up finding out, you know, all the corruption has been going on, and then you get this other storyline thrown in with Summer where it's her kid. She has like possession of a child. She's trying to, you know, have custody of a child, but obviously they're trying to mess her up because they're making her look like a drug addict by drugging her, which causes Terry to come back to the town, because after his cousin dies, Terry leaves, which any ordinary person really does. Killed my cousin, not a part of this. You gave me an out, I'm leaving. What brought him back in was Summer's family storyline. That was not established until it needed to be. It wasn't established in the beginning, so it felt flat for the second half, and it kind of was like, okay, we're dragging through it, let's get through it, let's see how it ends. And it ended flatter than how I thought it would, which was, okay, they need to get the evidence out of this cellar or like this like underground place that has all of the documentation that shows what the cops are doing. Oh, they're gonna burn that up. And then even when you do get what happened to his cousin, oh, they end up, you know, like I said, the twist is they end up stepping on the chips because Officer Jessica is not the one that's actually helping. It's actually on the inside. It's actually Officer Evan, who you said was in the beginning at the very front of everything. So they just try to have this.
That's not a redeeming arc. Redeeming arc would be like if he was maybe the only thing he could have redeemed, which I still, because birds of a feather flock together, but it's like, okay, if you have the other guy who was like on his ass the whole time, just like a complete asshole of a cop, it's like have him run him off the road and be messing with him, and then he comes up and he goes, hey, is everything okay over here? And then have it be this redeeming arc at the end of being this person who's, you know, there later on and like helps them because he's like, I know what they've been doing. I don't run business like that. Like, I'm actually a cop. I'm here to serve the people, yada yada. But it's like, no, you can't run me off the road, take my money, have racial remarks toward me, and then be like, oh yeah, at the end, like, I'm helping. No, like, you're the whole reason why I even got my money taken. You could have let me go, or you could have warned me, hey, get off the road, like they're gonna take you. Like, it's just like, that's not a redeeming factor for me. Like, I don't care about that. It's stupid.
It doesn't capture my attention for the second half as much as I wanted it to, and I did, like I said, I was rooting for it after the first half, but pretty much after they meet up with Mr. Liu, it becomes this semi like detective, we're gonna find out what they're hiding, and then it becomes this big shootout, which, like we said, Terry Richmond does not end up killing any of the officers. He breaks one of those arms. He ends up knocking out maybe a couple of other ones, but it doesn't, like I said, it just feels flat. The second half felt flat, and then of course the dash cam footage, because
it records a little bit before and it records like 4 minutes out. I think 4 minutes before and 4 minutes after, maybe 3 minutes.
Terry does get footage of the chief actually shooting and, you know, kind of exposing himself as being like, you know, the piece of shit that he is. And then when they're just about to leave with Officer Marston, it's Officer Marston, it's Terry, and it's Summer. They're about to drive out of the town. They're about to be ran off by the other police officers, but they end up, you know, getting escorted actually, because guess who comes in and finally wants to save the day? Officer Jessica, who runs the chief off the road, which once again, where's its last second redeeming? For what reason? You've already proven us twice that you're not really going to help him out.
You haven't redeemed yourself.
Oh, I'm just going to do it now because the plot allows me to.
Yeah.
Like, and then he gets to the hospital. They get Summer in here, who got shot up twice. She went through some hell. She got shot up with whatever drug twice. I thought she was dead for sure. But they get her to the hospital, and then Terry ends up grabbing the footage, and he's holding it in his hand in the hospital, meaning, you know, oh, he's got it. You know, he's actually got it. He's gonna actually prove something, which let's go ahead and tell you guys right now, it's the American It's the American system. Even if
we don't know, you destroyed. All they're gonna be like is you destroyed a police car. We should have you in jail. Oh well, like
you vandalized the car. Actually, you weren't allowed to take that out. That's not your property.
Actually, that's Grand Theft Auto. You took a police car.
Exactly, but
it's just never gonna work unless everyone is on your side. Which, like I said, people have shown time and time again, like, they might be on your side last minute. So
and pacing wise for it, it definitely is a first half kind of film. Yeah. Like it like if you want my advice, stop watching after he gets arrested.
Or literally wait until he gets arrested, and then after that time, go ahead and skip to maybe when he's at Lou, like when he's
Mr. Lou's place. Everything after that, everything in between. I'm telling you, it's not. It's a lot of over exposition of the system and how they run things, and it slows down a lot. And even that last fight, even that last sequence wasn't as impactful and as strong as it could be to represent really what it was trying to. Before we get into the final thoughts and the rating, let's go ahead and talk about the acting as it was. I do got to give some praise for Aaron Pierre as Terry Richmond. He clearly had to really carry the movie because he is the main star in it. We see him the most in there. I like that this movie didn't do the he's eye candy, so let's have him be shirtless, or let's have him be drenched in water or something. Like, I'm serious. I'm glad they didn't do all that with him.
I did say this at the beginning. I know he has to be funky. I know he has to be
because he was on a bike and walking around.
He never had a place to stay, always was in the woods. Now, granted, he could have, of course, washed himself off. Maybe he had a bar of soap in that backpack. I don't know. But to me, all I kept seeing is you change them clothes, baby. And then you're always sweating in them. So I feel like, aren't all your clothes funky too? And where are you putting the clean versus
and nobody
the dirty
made
clothes?
One joke about him smelling bad. He was sweaty walking into the courthouse, into the police station. Somebody could have been on set like, hey,
and that's
we got to crack a joke about him being
for
smelly.
Officer Jessica, I didn't like that because whenever he was coming in there trying to do the right thing, he was recording them or whatever. But it's like, even when he was doing the right thing and reporting the police officers who stole his money, she was so, I already knew. I was like, right when she got up to go confront the man who was like messing with him, the officer, it's like, because he did come in like after, because he came in the next day after he had got ran off the road, because like I said, he's just trying to get his money. Like, he's like, I'm just trying to get my cousin out of jail. Like, that's all I want. And it's ultimately like, whenever she did that and went to go tell him, they're like, oh, you need to get out of here. It's like I said, it's so played out. I'm so sick of seeing the racial tones of freaking police officers. We already know it's a corrupt system, it's a racial system. Like, we already know all that. So it's like to continuously see it portrayed in the media, it's tired. It's like I'm sick of seeing, okay, a black man gets wrongly done by the police. Okay, but
it wasn't even done in a creative way. Like I said, the first half seemed a little bit creative, and then you could have gone away from it and then done the actual prison break or prison escape thing, because that's something different, creative, that we've seen done before. But the first half lined itself out pretty well for it. But anyways, like I said, Aaron Pierre did a good job as Terry Richmond. David Denham, who was like the redeeming officer, the redeeming white officer, he was just here and there. Anybody could have really played him. Emory Cohen, who played Steve Land, he was the asshole officer. He clearly played his role up to the best it could. Can't forget my favorite scene. Gun throws it in there and then shoots him in the back.
Him in the back. Like, damn. I'm just like, wow.
He played his role up really well as like this unstoppable force of, dude, he's just coming after you because you're black. Like, he will, like, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if you did anything good or bad. He's just coming after you because you're black. Exactly.
And you're in our town. Like, it's just like I said, it's tired. It's old. And
then Anna Sophia Robb as Summer McBride. Just being honest, anyone could have really played her role. We've seen her role done a lot. It's not like she really stuck out or did anything specific that made me care a lot about her character. She just felt like
She could have been played by Misty.
Yeah, I mean, she could have been played by Misty out of Yellow Jackets, if you know, you know. But we've seen her done before. And then, like we said, Jessica, obviously, who was playing Officer Jessica Sims, she was just here and there. A lot of people just here and there. It like I said, it was really a three-person. It was really a three-person movie, and I really feel like, and then of course
Terry the sheriff and then the two cops.
It's not anything. Don Johnson, who played the actual sheriff. I mean, come on now, like, just by how he looks, how he's presented in the film, it's pretty easy to tell who he was going to play, how he was going to play his role. And, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. The last thing I wanted to say was that I do believe that this happens with films, and I'm really sick and tired of it. And Chris, you hit it on the head with this, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper into this. I really feel like movies that try to establish, hey, there's a corrupt police force, not all cops are good, they're hiding stuff, they're doing stuff bad. I feel like Hollywood and executives, and especially these big streaming services, I feel like they tell you, hey, you can't go all in on this and make the police force look so bad. You have to have a redeeming officer. You have to make them look a little bit better. If not, you're not going to be able to get this movie greenlit. And I feel like that's what happened here. I feel like there's a movie like this where the cops truly look bad, as fucked up as and I mean the whole system, not just, oh, there's a couple of them that, like I said, why'd you have Officer Jessica make that decision at the end? Probably because he needed to meet the, oh, look, a black officer is actually good quota. That's what it felt like. We could have just had her be bad the whole time, or just have her be the coonish cop that's just going along with it, right? But no, we had to throw that in there. And then Officer Marston, yeah, there was no reason for you to have a redeeming factor. I really felt like that's what was needed to get the film greenlit and get made, because like I said, you should have just went the route of having it be a prison escape movie, and the first half is a pretty intriguing story.
Exactly, or actually, I just feel like I just wish it could have just, I wanted it to be something where, who are you guys? Who is Terry? Who is his cousin? Why are they after him so badly, to where it's like, I'm worried about him getting in there because they're going to attack him. They're going to hurt him. Why does Terry already know that going in? I want to know now. That's what intrigued me even at the start. I want to know, why is it that everyone's coming after your cousin? What did he do? Okay, then we find out it's a drug possession. Okay, is it like maybe gang affiliated? Did he not give some money? Like, what's going on there? Like, you know, never any actual insight on it. It's just, oh no, they stabbed him and killed him because of this corrupt police station because they were doing wrongful arrest.
Felt wasted to me.
It's like you literally had such a great concept. They're like, okay, tie it together with the sheriff's office. Like, it's just like he said, it fell flat, and it's just like, ultimately, like I said, I'm just sick of movies like this. It's like 2 hours 11 minutes wasn't necessarily wasted of my life, but it still was like, I don't need to see this movie. I wouldn't recommend it.
If we didn't see that second half, I'd be all right with it, but we did watch it past that second half. Yeah, we wouldn't recommend it. If you want something to put on for like an hour, put on the first hour of this movie, but there's a whole bunch of other things you can watch instead. In terms of our official rating for the movie, we're going to give Rebel Ridge a C. We'll just give it a C.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't say C with me. Do you think it's a C minus? You think it's an F?
I feel like it is. Like I said, I'll give it a C because of Aaron. Other than that,
wow, had
really
to go back to Aaron.
Yeah, because ultimately, even though I don't like this picture of him with his mustache, I don't. But I guess he had one the whole time. I don't know. I think he was clean shaven. He was clean shaven.
Your comments are just for the Melanin Warriors.
Anyways, I'm
like,
sorry.
Bro,
I'm sorry.
what are we doing here?
But what I'm gonna say is, like I said, I'm just tired of this story. Like, the reason why it's a C minus for me is because I truly don't like stories like this. It's overplayed. It's oversaturated. It's overwritten. Like, I'm sick of it. Like I said, you could have had a great concept with him and his cousin and who they are and why they need to get him. Maybe something in the Marines happened. You know, they said he was deployed. It's like so many little plot points that you had for a
no
phenomenal
flashbacks.
Story.
Was shocked there was no flashbacks.
Yeah, it could have been a phenomenal story, but you made it. Let's just take the easy route. Make it about the sheriff's county. They're losing money. Cool. Let's end it there. And it's like,
and that's why I started it off, and I'm gonna end it with here. This is a perfect example of a Netflix movie. This is a Netflix movie, y'all. So be careful of the movies that are number one in the world. Be careful, but be careful. Like, and look, 96 on Rotten Tomatoes. What y'all smoking here? What y'all smoking? Stop. Look,
probably because it talks about cops.
It's not a 96. It's probably cops voting. It's probably cops being like, hey, you man, this look good. Anyways, appreciate you guys for tuning in to our review of Rebel Ridge. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the channel, and we will see you guys next time.